Imagine hatching from your egg only to watch your own mother swim over and start eating your siblings alive. Then imagine spending the next year developing a superpower that saves your life dozens of times, only to have that exact same feature trap you underwater and drown you whilst you watch the surface disappear. Sounds absolutely mental, doesn't it? Well, that's the utterly tragic life of a prehistoric amphibian called Diplocaulus, and I promise you, this is genuinely one of the most heartbreaking survival stories in natural history. Buckle up, because this one's gonna mess with your head. Right. So, picture this. You've just cracked out of your egg. Proper, vulnerable, barely know which way is up. And immediately something feels wrong inside your skull. Like someone's literally pulling your head apart from the inside. Around you, 40 of your brothers and sisters are breaking free from their shells, wriggling about when you spot her. Your mom. Finally, she's here. You think she's coming to protect you? Yeah, help you out, show you the ropes, all that parental stuff. But no. She opens her massive gob and just gulps down 6 of your siblings. Whole like they're nothing more than snacks at the cinema. You freeze completely. She's not here to be nurturing. She's here to cull the weak ones before they waste precious resources. Her cold eyes scan the remaining hatchlings and lock directly onto you. And you know exactly what she's thinking. You're small. You're slow. Your head already feels too heavy for your tiny body. You're precisely what she's looking for. She swims closer. You can't outpace her. No chance. So you do the only thing left. You wedge yourself between 2 unhatched eggs and play dead. Hold your breath. Don't move a muscle. Her snout bumps against the eggs. You can feel her breath disturbing the water around you. She's deciding whether you're worth the effort to dig out. Then something splashes nearby. One of your stronger siblings making noise, drawing attention. She pivots and chases that one instead. You watch your brother disappear into her mouth in one swift gulp. She chomps down 11 more before finally swimming off. No protection, no parenting whatsoever. Just natural selection at its most brutal. 28 of you left from 50 eggs. And here's the kicker. Most of you won't even make it to adulthood, but what eventually kills you will be the most ironic death imaginable. That one feature that saves your life 20 times over becomes the very thing that holds you underwater and drowns you. After your mum clears off, you and your remaining siblings just sort of float there in shock, but your instincts are absolutely screaming at you to eat something. One of your brothers darts towards some algae floating nearby. Swallows it down. Doesn't keel over dead. Result, you try the same. Grab some algae. Taste like wet dirt mixed with pond scum. But at least your stomach stops complaining. For 3 days straight, this is your entire existence. Just grabbing random floating bits and hoping they're edible. Then the real pain kicks in. Your skull bones are spreading apart, and they won't stop. Every single day your head gets wider. Every day your neck muscles are burning from trying to hold up the increasing weight. It's absolutely excruciating. You watch one of your sisters whose head is developing wrong. One side's growing wider than the other. She starts swimming in circles. Can't control her direction properly. Keeps smashing into rocks. Then this 6-foot crocodile thing slides out of the mud and grabs her in one swift bite. She doesn't even see it coming. Gone. Right there you learn something crucial. This painful, head-spreading business isn't random. It's literally the only thing keeping you swimming straight enough to survive. Your weird head is your steering mechanism. After a week of munching algae, you spot your first proper prey. A tiny shrimp crawling along the bottom. You lunge at it. Miss completely. Try again. Miss again. Your massive wide head makes you proper clumsy. You try 5 more times before you finally snag one. And mate, it's the best thing you've ever tasted. You spend the next fortnight hunting shrimp and learning how your bizarre body actually works. Your 4 legs are basically useless, like little paddles that barely push any water. Your tail does most of the work, and your head just makes absolutely everything harder. It's like trying to swim forwards while someone's strapped a surfboard to your face. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You're hunting shrimp near the bottom when you spot something better. A small fish hovering about 5 feet above you. You try swimming up to it normally, but you're way too slow. It just drifts away, taking the mick. Then you experiment a bit. You tilt your head upwards, just messing about really. And suddenly, whoosh, you shoot upward like you're being yanked by an invisible string. The water rushing over your flat, boomerang-shaped head lifts your entire body. Your mouth snaps shut on the fish. You caught it without even properly trying. Your head works exactly like an aeroplane wing, tilted between 1 and 22 degrees, and the water pressure literally pushes you upwards. You can catch fish that nobody else can reach. For 3 glorious days, you're absolutely the best hunter in the pond. Top dog. Living your best life. Then disaster strikes. You scrape your head on a rock. Just one small scratch. Nothing major. But the next time you try to use your lifting ability, nothing happens. Just drag. Complete failure. Turns out the physics only work if your head surface is perfectly smooth. That tiny scratch has completely destroyed your hunting ability. You re-back to grubbing around in the mud for scraps, whilst the wound slowly heals over 2 agonizing weeks. Two weeks of proper starving because your superpower is too fragile to actually use consistently. But here's the absolute worst part. You can't stop using it. You have to hunt. You have to eat. So you're forced to hunt with a broken superpower. And sometimes it works, and sometimes you just spin sideways and smash face first into rocks. Every single hunt becomes a gamble with your life. Skip forward through those weeks of hunting with a damaged head. The wound finally heals but leaves this jagged scar. That scar catches water differently now, creates drag on one side. When you tilt up to hunt, you spin slightly to the left every time. You have to adjust constantly. It's exhausting, but something else is happening. Something far worse. Every breath feels thinner somehow. Your lungs are working harder for less oxygen. You don't know it, but the oxygen levels in the atmosphere are dropping from 30% down to 25%. Your body was designed for oxygen-rich air. Now it's being slowly taken away. You're gasping more, getting tired faster. Every hunt leaves you absolutely knackered. The ponds are shrinking too. You watch the water line drop inch by inch every single day. You desperately need to find a burrow before it's too late. You and 7 others dig into the mud near the deep end of the pond. You're wedged in there, finally getting some rest, when you feel it. Vibrations from above, heavy footsteps, digging sounds. Then light breaks through. A massive clawed hand tears through the roof of your burrow. Behind it is this 13-foot monster with a sail on its back. It grabs the one next to you, a female you'd been hunting alongside for weeks. Her ribs crack, audibly. It pulls her out, screaming. You watch through the hole as it bites down on her boomerang-shaped head, then just spits it out. Too awkward to swallow properly, so it simply eats her body instead, ripping chunks off, whilst her skull lies there on the ground like a plate it couldn't be bothered with. The hand comes back, grabs another. You press yourself into the corner, trying to become invisible. 6 left. 5. 4. You're literally counting down to your own death when you hear something. Another monster roaring outside, even bigger. The hand stops mid-reach and you hear it sprint away. You're lying in your destroyed burrow, covered in your mate's blood, knowing that even if you somehow survive today, you still can't breathe properly. The air is still getting thinner. This is just delaying the inevitable. Fast forward for months, and you've learned to live with that scarred head, but nobody tells you the truth about your lifting ability. You have to tilt at exactly the right angle, 1 to 22 degrees. Too shallow and nothing happens. Too steep and you flip backwards, exposing your soft belly to everything lurking below. You're hunting when you tilt up toward a fish, perfect angle. You're rising fast, locked in, then something charges from directly underneath. That's 6-foot croc thing. You're committed to the lift trajectory. Can't change angle mid-flight. Its jaws open wide. You twist at the last possible second. Teeth scrape down your side, tearing skin and flesh. You hit the bottom hard, bleeding everywhere. Your superpower nearly got you killed because you literally cannot see below you whilst using it. The wound gets infected. For 3 brutal weeks, you're too weak to hunt properly. You survive on mud and algae and whatever floats past your face. When the wound finally heals, you realize something horrible. Now you've got 2 scars that catch water wrong. Your lift is even more broken than before. Every time you use your superpower, you risk breaking it further. Every time you break it, you starve. Every time you starve, you're forced to use it again. There's literally no way out of this cycle. Jump ahead 3 months, and the massive drought is starting. Water levels dropping rapidly. You watch the fish die, first from lack of oxygen. Then you watch the other amphibians simply walk away to find new water. They've got strong legs that actually work. You've got paddle feet that are basically decorative. You try following them. You haul yourself onto land and manage maybe 30 feet before your muscles completely give up. It takes you 4 hours to drag your body 30 feet. You literally plowing a trench with your face because your head is too heavy to lift off the ground. You turn back toward the shrinking pond and watch them all leave. Every single one walk into safety that you physically cannot reach because your body design whoa. And allow it. Your skull that was supposed to help you survive is now the anchor drowning you. The pond shrinks to a puddle. 300 of you are trapped here, packed so tight you can't move without bumping into someone. The water's turning green with toxic algae. You're suffocating in water and air simultaneously. Every morning there are fewer of you. The sharks take the small ones. The crocs take the babies. Those sailback monsters wade in at night and drag out anyone near the edges. You're stuck in the middle, watching the water line drop lower, watching the body count rise, watching escape become impossible because your head weighs too much and your legs don't function. You're not dying quickly. You're dying slowly, whilst watching it happen in real time. 2 weeks later and the pond's barely a puddle now. 40 feet wide, 2 feet deep. 5 of those sailback monsters show up and start their harvest. Grab, shake, rip the head off, eat the body, drop the skull. Next victim. You watch them work inward like a closing circle. This isn't hunting anymore. This is processing. Your livestock waiting for slaughter. Bodies thrash everywhere. Skulls crack. The water turns properly red. One grabs the one right next to you. You hear ribs breaking. Watch the body get torn to pieces. Watch the head get spat out because it's too awkward to swallow. The thing that's meant to protect you just makes you easier to process. They've figured out how to eat around it. You're next. The monster reaches for you. Then another monster slams into it, fighting over territory. Their thrashing creates this wave that throws you toward the edge. You drag yourself toward a rock with a small gap underneath. You're crawling, completely exposed, definitely about to die. You're 5 feet away, 4 feet, 3. Your muscles are finished. 2 feet, 1. You wedge yourself under the rock as claws slam down exactly where you just were. It tries to dig you out, but gives up after 5 minutes. You lie there listening to everyone else die for an hour. Then, sealins. When you finally crawl out, there are 67 skulls scattered in the mud. Just heads everywhere. Your species' defensive feature is literally the rubbish left behind after the meal. You survive 2 more weeks, barely clinging to life. Then, the rain comes. Massive storm. Proper flash flood. The dried riverbeds explode with rushing water. For the first time in months, deep water. Real water. Room to actually swim properly. You ride the flood into a new river system, feeling your body wake up. You're going to survive this. You actually made it through. You find a pool, fed by the floodwater, teeming with fish. Proper prey. You haven't hunted in 2 months. You tilt your head to the perfect angle and launch upward. You catch it clean, swallow it down. Best meal since before the drought started. You're swimming around this new pool, feeling almost happy for the first time in ages, when you notice something. The pool has smooth rock walls all around. Only one way out, a narrow channel at the far end. You swim toward it to explore, curious. The channel is 10 inches wide. Your boomerang head is 17 inches wide. You stare at it for a full minute before attempting anything. Maybe you can squeeze through. Maybe the rocks will give way slightly. You push yourself into the gap. Your skull wedges tight instantly. Like a cork in a bottle. You push harder. The rock doesn't move, even slightly. You try backing out. Your head shape makes it impossible. Those sweatback points catch like hooks, pulling you further in. You're stuck. Properly stuck. Then you feel it. The current flowing through the channel is getting weaker. The flood is draining away. The pool is emptying. You watch the waterline on the rocks start to drop. You've got 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most. You're watching your own death approach in real time. You thrash violently for the first 5 minutes. Blood clouds the water. Your skull scrapes against rock, but doesn't budge even a millimeter. The thing that saved you from being swallowed 20 times is now holding you underwater as the water drains away. 5 minutes left. You stop thrashing. Save your energy. Try to think. There's no solution. You're too wedged in. 3 minutes. Water's at your gills now. You can still breathe, but barely. 2 minutes. You're watching the waterline drop. Inch by agonizing inch. You can see the surface. You can see daylight filtering through the water above you. So close. If your head was normal-sized, you could just swim up and out. Simple as that. 1 minute left. Your lungs are burning. You're trying to breathe water that's barely there anymore. The last thing you see is sunlight rippling on the surface 3 feet above your face. 3 feet. That's all that separates you from air. Your head is 17 inches too wide. Those 17 inches that saved you from being eaten, that made every swim harder, are now holding you down as the water drains to nothing. You spend your last 30 seconds watching safety disappear, watching the surface drop away from you. Unablet, to move up, unable to help yourself, dying slowly with your eyes wide open. Your body gives up. Everything goes dark. Somewhere 270 million years in the future. Scientists will find your skeleton wedged in that channel. They'll measure your skull at 17 inches across and measure the gap at 10 inches. They'll write academic papers about unusual preservation conditions and flash flood victims. They'll never know you watched it happen, that you had 3 full minutes to understand exactly how you were dying, that the feature, Diplocaulus, your successful evolutionary adaptation, was the thing that drowned you in the end. They'll put your skull in a museum display case. Kids will point at it and ask their teachers, why is its head shaped so weird? And the teachers will confidently say, that's what helped it survive. Nobody will mention that you spent your first week not even knowing what food was, that you've suffocated slowly in thinning air your body wasn't designed for, that you watched everyone walk away on legs that actually worked whilst you dragged yourself 30 feet in 4 hours, that you survived a massacre through pure blind luck, just to die alone in a trap created by your own skull. This is the absolutely tragic reality of evil. Sometimes the thing that keeps you alive becomes the thing that kills you. Diplocaulus developed this incredible boomerang-shaped head that worked as a lifting mechanism that was too awkward for predators to swallow, that helped it steer through murky water. And that exact same adaptation trapped it, drowned it, turned its greatest strength into its final weakness. After 12 months of hunting with a superpower that breaks every time you use it, suffocating in thinning air, dragging yourself on useless legs watching everyone die in shrinking death pools, having your mates eaten by monsters who spit out their heads